Good evening, viewer. Welcome to our Glory Globe TV's breaking news. Yes, a new study proposes a hypothesis called cytoelectric coupling, arguing that the brain's electrical fields created by neural network activity can influence the physical configuration of neurons' subcellular components to optimize network stability and efficiency. The research conducted by scientists from MIT, City, University of London and Johns Hopkins University builds upon earlier studies that showed how rhythmic electrical activity or brainwaves in neural networks and the influence of electric fields at the molecular level can coordinate and adjust the brain's function, facilitating flexible cognition. Brainwaves, yes, brainwaves act as carriers of information. A recently proposed cytoelectric coupling hypothesis suggests that these wavering electric fields contribute to the optimization of the brain network's efficiency and robustness. Yes, they do this by influencing the physical configuration of the brain's molecular framework. In order to carry out its multifaceted function, which include thought, the brain operates on various levels. Information like objective or visuals is depicted through synchronized electrical activity among neuronal networks. Simultaneously, a combination of proteins and other biochemicals within the surroundings, each neuron physically executes the mechanics required for participation in this network. A new paper by research at MIT, City University of London and Johns Hopkins University posts that the electrical fields of the network influence the physical configuration of neurons' subcellular components to optimize network stability and efficiency. A hypothesis the author called cytoelectric coupling. The information the brain is processing has a role in fine-tuning the network down to the molecular level, said Al Miller, Pickower professor in the Pickower Institute for Learning and Memory at MIT, who co-authored the paper in progress in neurobiology with Associate Professor Dimitris Pinotesis of MIT and City University of London and Professor Jenny Friedman of Johns Hopkins. The brain adapts to a changing world. Pinotesis proteins and molecules change too. They can have electric charges and need to catch up with neurons that process, store and transmit information using electric signals. Yes, interacting with the neurons' electric fields seems necessary. A major focus of Miller's lab is studying how higher level cognitive functions such as working memory can rapidly, flexibly and yet reliably emerge from the activity of millions of individual neurons. Neurons are capable of dynamically forming circuits by creating and removing connections called synapses, as well as strengthening or weakening those junctions, but that merely forms a roadmap around which information could flow, Miller said. The specific neural circuits that collectively represent one thought or another, Miller has found, are coordinated by rhythmic activity, more colloquially known as the brainwaves of different frequencies. First, gamma rhythms help transmit images from our vision, that is muffin, while slower beta waves might carry our deeper thoughts about the image to many calories. Properly timed bursts of these waves can carry prediction, enable writing in, holding onto and reading out information in working memory, Miller's lab has shown. The breakdown when working memory does too, the lab has reported evidence that the brain might distinctly manipulate rhythms in specific physical location to further organize neurons for flexible cognition, a concept called spatial computing. Other recent work from the lab has shown that while the participation of individual neurons within networks may be fickle and unreliable, the information carried by the networks they are part of is stably represented by the overall electric fields generated by their collective activity. In the new study, the author combined this model of rhythmic electrical activity coordinating neural networks with other lines of evidence that electrical fields can influence neurons at the molecular level. Research, for example, have studied affective coupling in which neurons influence each other's electrical properties via the proximity of their membranes rather than solely relying on electrochemical exchanges across synapses. This electrical crosstalk can affect neuronal functions including when and whether they spike to relay electrical signals to other neurons in circuit. Miller, Pinotis and Friedman also cite research showing other electrical influences on cells and their components, including how neural development is guided by fields that microtubules can be aligned by them. If the brain carries information in the electric fields and those electric fields are capable of configuring neurons and other elements in the brain that form a network, then the brain is likely to use this capability. The brain can use field to ensure the network does what it is supposed to do, the author suggests. Bien, that's about Glory Globe TV, Delhi, India.